just wanted to ramble about the wave of, let's say, spiritual possession that might have taken place within a very delicate situation where people are moving across the land, and in order for evolution to take place, but it's being hijacked by something that you can say originally got off on the wrong foot, perhaps, but maybe that's just not the truth. Let's just say that the organism, for sure, there's an organism. We call it human, but there's not that happening. There's just organism, scientific fact of a biosphere seen as a collected, organic looking thing. It's the bodies that are there and the apertures and the potential of becoming human is there. That it depends on the programming, the wiring, right? The electrical. See, the human being is electrical. You could say that it's tapping fields of information in reality that gives it energy and gives it, say, energy is the same as power, so it's knowledge. Knowledge is power, comes through experiences. And then we start being able to use our imagination a lot more the more and more actual experiences we start to have. You're not going to be able to work much else. I mean, people get stuck in mathematics and science, and it's all in the mind, and they're not working anything in reality in a laboratory, and anyway, even if you can do that, you could might experience limitation, which brings me back to my original, kind of the way I sounded in the beginning is, kind of, this place is so strange. The mass collective of what's here, the it's pretty much on automatic or auto programming. That's very, you could just say sickened, because there isn't a foundation, a strong foundation. There isn't a leader that's solid enough. You see, the programming, that's all it is, can happen, like, say, it happens over generations, and it's how that I'm fine with driving a car or even a plane. Really, the human being is highly programmable, and the things that we are doing out in the universe, compared to here, really, I mean, even here, the broke off civilization that could be there, that I say, of course there is. It's the human beings civilization. They're much more smarter, and they know how to. They are programmed in a whole different way. See, it's really hard for me to come up with the words and even the mentality, but I'm getting. See, this is the good news: is I'm getting flashes of it. Thank God for Venus conjunct Uranus today and tomorrow, where this is being looked into, like, well, scientifically. Well, really, can we bring it up into communications, which has to come in first as an experience, though. First as an experience. Now, what is it that we're missing if we can't explain it? It's the experience. What am I even talking about? See, it just kind of went. It's very delicate, and I'm trying to channel this because there is the profuse ness, I guess, of what is real to us and what is our programming that is coming out of a lopsided suggestion, a field of information, our programming. The human organism is highly programmable. The 5-pointer, all colors, is doing programming, whether we know it, like it or not. And whether we know that this, like it or not, it doesn't need much help, as it more so that it needs freedom. I hope you can understand that with some of the stuttering that I'm doing still with C. We have an interesting aspect with Mercury, Venus conjuncting Uranus, which will bring through, in Taurus, brings through this very earthy, natural, elemental breakthrough to what I'm mentioning is just, the natural world, the I have, the bodily experience, it's very sensual, that's our communicative level of feeling and maintaining through good feelings. Venus, our love, our what qualifies for all of that, and also the quality, calling it, this is quality, high quality, putting a price on it, maybe. Like I said, my brand, and I'm going to get more and more into it, is human being. I'll have to say, since the last people came in and chalked in, the fact is now that lot was empty right next door. And a lot of people have dogs here, and there's a lot of dogs, and it's like, oh, there could be a lot more dog barking, but there isn't, because they're all very, very conscientious, I think, except for these neighbors here. Lucky me. See, the neighbors on the other side, they've had a dog for how long? I think their dog is elderly now, and I never hear it barking. I had a dog. See, dogs will do like a systematic barking, like they'll talk to each other every afternoon or something over there, and then they'll come back, and that's okay. But the profuse barking at any time, interruptions in the morning, and all of a sudden, just, I don't blame it on the dogs. I'm not against the dogs at all. I love dogs. It's the dog owners that are the problem. Most likely, they have a mindset that is, it should be quarantined away. We shouldn't have to mix up with it, because they have a mentality that doesn't include a reality and the truth of anybody else being there or anything being affected by their presence there, and that's too bad. Anyway, getting back to really, it's a bit disruptive, and I can say that. I have the freedom to say that, and I think I'm going to put up a sign saying, you know what, we don't have dogs barking in this neighborhood. Thank you. We really don't. It's disruptive. I was trying to make a video of something. I'm actually trying to channel something very important to me, and probably to these people if they ever woke up, like maybe 3 lifetimes from now, after they trash the place and come back and go, I wonder who did this, and they keep going back and forth. It's like, you know what? Get out of the loop, will you? Join the living. It is so souped up. Every meaning of the terminology out there. Particularly, let's talk about the dog industry. In fact, it is an industry, and I'm not talking about the part where you breed them and sell them. No, I'm talking about the part where the veterinarians and whatever's pushing onto the population to have dogs. I'm sorry, this is something that has come up to me, and I don't want to sound like, oh, I see, this is the thing that comes out of the mentality of the narcissist that has dogs. Oh, it's all about energy. And they love so much. I love my dog, and it's because people are. No, it's actually because you don't know how to get along with people. Don't forget that you fell back on fucking socializing with an animal that will be loyal to you even if you beat it. You have yet to graduate into, like I said, the living being human beings. Congratulations, though! We're having to listen to the new science diet that comes in, because I'll call up that commercial and it's like, you know what, this is hideous. These commercials that talk about the next to human food, it's just like human food, and it's what you should be feeding your dog because, boy, your dog. And the story about what happened to this woman's dog, and it's pretty much everybody's dog, and they're going to think it's normal, but it's like, no, that was true, that their food got to them after a while. After a while, your dog will show you that it doesn't want its food. Give it about to 15, depends. See, mine was very healthy, and I couldn't afford to give it that food, of course. And of course, this new science diet food, this is where I want to shut the fuck up right now and just say, tell everybody, stop getting dogs, get birds instead, because birds, they don't get sick, they just die. They don't live as anything sick, they'll just croak. Get canaries. They live healthy, and then if anything is wrong, the slightest thing, they'll just die. Fuck it. You don't have sick fucking. Oh no, it's kind of disturbing. Hit like and describe. If you think it's kind of pathetic to keep around, hanging in the air, illnesses, and I'm sorry, all of that hospitalization and all that sign of having just having to take care of the sick and the sick and the deformed is a sign that war is happening. That's all. That's really it. Do you think that that is necessary? I say no. Not in my life. I was fortunate enough to have a dog, be around dogs all my life. My grandma was a breeder. I mean, she just breeder. Just put them together, and there you go. And she happened to have a knack. Well, she happened to have a couple dogs that ended up these magical fucking dogs, man. One was a it was related to the Malamute Shepherd, but it was had a little bit of Labrador Retriever in it. So, with the Shepherd part, Malamute gave blue eyes to when her Shih Tzu, little Chihuahua, reaches up and mates with this dog, this other dog, and this dog had so many litters, but they sold to people around here, and every once in a while I'll see these little dogs. I'm like, oh my god, I bet you anything that is Papa Dog. Papa Dog. Call him Papa Dog. Papa Dog was a little, God, this story, was a little Shih Tzu kind of looking fluffy, extraordinary looking little thing. I mean, it was her creation, really, because it come from another dog that she had. It was a little Chihuahua thing, and anyway, she just happened to let them all have puppies here. And boy, I come up here when I was a kid, and and I didn't live here all my life, you see, and I didn't live here ever since I moved up here. There was a spell where I had jobs and rented houses up here and stuff. But anyway, getting back to when I was a kid and visiting grandma, where literally there would be like 16 dogs. They were all her dogs following me, and they were all breeding. Right, there's some back home with one dog. This one dog I was talking to you about that she sold. They used to have blue eyes with little tiny Shih Tzu looking dragons, I used to call them after a while because they're being born with red hair and they're long and they're small and they have these blue eyes and oh my god, their personality is crazy. Anyway, so my point is I love dogs. I've always been around dogs and I know that it's all about energy. And so I would go for a hike with not a single leash and I would go for anywhere around the block and it wasn't as crowded then as it is now. Not as many narcissists, really. It was a beautiful community that held itself together through just we know where we are and we feel rather than think, um, more so than anything. So when they see me without a single leash on these dogs, and they're all just following me, just like a cloud of smoke around me, and they call me the piper, the Pied Piper. I guess it's somebody who was piping up and then something followed them. But anyway, yeah, if you're good with animals, really, if you have just a good energy, I mean, it's not you don't need a leash on them and stuff like that. It's voice command and what else? They're not barking so much as just sniffing and being curious. When they're on a leash, it's a different energy, and they are apt to be more violent and stuff like that. And then when they understand that they're enclosed in, see they'll get more. They'll be on the more standoffish, and it's just their owners that are You don't blame it on the dog. It's the owners that are standoffish and antisocial. Yes. Uh-huh. Narcissist to the bone. It's just, and they, you can see how they just sold it over the TV. How? Get your SUV, possibly electric car with your dog is the reason it's flapping in the wind. And the thing is these people are narcissists aren't very keen on subject matter at all because they've been knocked around so much their nerves are fucked up, so they don't really know that there's a more intricate thing to know about it. They're just there for the attention and the status. Who cares how it works? And therefore, their dogs are dying earlier, getting sick with all kinds of shit. Why? Because they take them to the vet readily. It's all about, and get them chipped. They don't even know. Do you understand it's going to move to people now? And they think it's a great idea. And it's like, you guys, first of all, do you have your own intelligence? And do you know a dog will kind of find its way back home too? It kind of does. There's plenty of stories where people will lose their dog 5,000 miles away, and they're like, "Well, lost the fucking dog. Well, I'm gonna go home and cry about it." Well, the dog makes it back to them. It takes 7 years, but they finally it's not a lie. They came back. There's plenty of stories like that. Finally find. I found cats that I thought, oh God, I must have lost them forever. No, they're hanging there. They're wondering, where are you? They're lost. And they'll come back though if they're a damn good dog. The animals are like that. They have a way better sense than your narcissist. Narcissists are away from their animal instinct behavior. They are too mental oriented. They'll tell you, no, think about it first. Put space in between. You know what? There's an authentic being that doesn't put space in between the fact that you need to react right now and say, fuck you, no, and get out of here. And do not be nice. Look nice. Just described women right there. You graduate into being, now we're at minute 17, and I am not a biased person, but there's something strange, and I think that the superior man would in fact tell their sons, boy, you have to obey women. They know better. And now I'm talking about real alive women. I'm speaking for myself, who in my personal life, the men that have gotten closest to me, like the ones that I spent much time with, I was able to let them in and be with them and allow them in. Most of the time is because they had a feminine side to them. They were kind of detail oriented about something. They were rare that way, and they were a man's man that way. I mean, they were connected to their feminine side, but see, I never had a conversation or even knew what their attitude was. But I've heard other women like like my uncle, my uncles and the ones closest to me, my family, they're all saying, I'm a parrot. I don't know what's going on. I listen to your mother, or I listen to the woman, and then I know what to do. This is all I think of. That's why I get up in the morning and operate. And a superior man would say, yes, that's my leader, because one day, son, you might want to have kids, and you want her to be sound as a leader. A leader now. I talk about this, and I'm going to get out of it right now. It's not a woman or a man. It's the truth. The truth is a delicacy. It's an experience you're going to have in reality. You keep logging it in. And see, I say it comes through intelligence that has a better nervous system. It has more sensitive. It has feelings that it goes by. I know I'm onto something. Please hit like and subscribe. Getting closer to human. It's following feelings of what feel good. Now, authentic feel good. We're not talking about when you're already destroyed, non-humane. See, how do we trust anyone? to be undestroyed enough to have just assumed the position of saying, you know what, I want the best for you. That's all. What we're about to do, is going to bring out the best. See, narcissists think they can go right in there and just, they think that they have a Midas touch. And it's like, no, you have to have had healed yourself in that area for you to go there and have made a difference in any subject matter. And most of it is that your relationships, you're just so hung up on it all the time. And really, you need to just get back off, get into your spaceship. I love this. Babes, ship. There's relating and there's spacing. I suggest spacing better and get into your spaceship and do pure relating. Relating comes from having given it pretty. It's gotten into your spaceship. I mean, really, can you relate with my spaceship? In this spaceship? What spaceship? Well, Mother Earth, Virgin Earth is this big spaceship, and we're in this realm, and yes, reality. You know, click in. Hey, test it out. Do a reality check. Uh-oh. I've just felt the narcissist get kind of a little cold sweat a little bit. I've got some work to do. Excuse me.